We're closing late on a deal today because I didn't want to make an extra $6,000. Let me tell you why. So I'm working on a tricky DSCR deal with some clients. Fantastic property here in San Diego, and it happens to be a property that has Mills Act. What Mills Act taxes means is it's basically taxes that are at a lower level than they typically would because it's considered a historic property. The investor we were working with has never come across and didn't actually know what Mills Act taxes were. They didn't know what the Mills Act was. So in this situation, it took quite a bit of back and forth with this specific investor to be able to get them to understand that the taxes were actually lower than they wanted us to calculate them at. Push come to shove, we finally get where we need to. We're supposed to get docs out yesterday to sign last night. Docs came out, but because of this back and forth, we had about $6,000 more in a credit that we had negotiated that we weren't using. Now, there were two ways that we could fix this. The first way is I could have increased my commission by about $6,000. Keep in mind, this is a DSCR loan with kind of the Wild West pre-2008 rules. There's not really regulations in the same way that there are on traditional financing. I could have made more money and we could have stayed on track with closing on time. I didn't feel right about that. So what I ended up doing is actually going back to the investor. We used that credit to get our client's interest rate an additional 0.25% lower, which is an absolutely fantastic situation. They're in a great position. They're going to be cash flowing even better on this property now. But it caused us to have to go back to underwriting, redraw docs, and we ended up getting docs out this morning. Now, although we could have stayed on track and potentially done so, there would have been a split closing. They would have had to sign in two different ways, and it just didn't work. So we're not closing today. But I helped save my clients 0.25% in rate rather than making more money. And at the end of the day, that's the most important thing to me.